We pretty much know what we're up against this Monday because it's on par with Sunday's heat. So let's look into the worst of yesterday, looking at these heat indices for each of these locations. Seward up to 120 degrees, factoring in the humidity with the actual air temperature. This is what it felt like through the worst of the afternoon. 115 in Columbus and Omaha. Omaha hadn't peaked at that heat index since late July in 2023. So it's been a couple years. Crete at 114. This was at Lincoln Airport, officially 113. But I saw some personal weather stations around Lincoln peaking around 120 to 121 degrees. So a very hot day yesterday. We do it again for Monday with an extreme heat warning in place for all of eastern Nebraska. That will be in effect for noon through 8 o'clock tonight. The heat index again ranging from 110 to 115 degrees, meaning heat stroke, heat exhaustion. Signs of the heat-related illnesses can become more likely under conditions like this. Heat advisory will be in place for central and western Nebraska during that time frame for heat indices in the lower 100s. So we're all going to be miserable, very uncomfortable, incredible heat for this afternoon. We usually experience a few days like this in a year, and it is here for the late portions of July before we'll experience a really nice cool down, really, by the end of this week. Sun coming up, thunderstorms in the distance that have been pushing out some outflow, a really good outflow boundary really through eastern Nebraska, driving temperatures a little cooler between Omaha, Lincoln. You still see it's 80 though in Beatrice, upper 70s just to our south and west, but a brief drop in the humidity and the wind picking up. This hasn't felt too bad. A nice momentary relief early today before the humidity comes right back up with the hottest portions of the day today. But winds are out of the east anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour because of that outflow boundary, with higher wind gusts peaking around 30 miles per hour here in Lincoln and up toward Omaha. Those wind gusts were a lot stronger coming through Omaha a few hours ago, peaking over 50 miles an hour and producing some power outages up that way. Hopefully that gets resolved because we would like to have some AC on our hottest portions of this year for this point in late July. So the outflow boundary weakened as it's moved through Lincoln and portions of southeast Nebraska. You can kind of see it there in the clouds from satellite and radars. Those weaker thunderstorms dive to the south. Really throughout this afternoon, a lot of sunshine. More thunderstorms are going to be possible across northeast Nebraska. Strong to severe storms could be possible as a cold front kind of stalls out through South Dakota. You'll see those won't last too long. They may linger a little bit in northeast Nebraska in the overnight hours, but most of us will be dry and very hot. The risk for severe weather bumps up to a level 2 out of 5 risk over northern Nebraska for isolated to scattered severe storms possible, mainly for some wind and some hail. But we're up to a moderate level 4 out of 5 risk through South Dakota and Minnesota for the setup today between Aberdeen and Sioux Falls in South Dakota for the higher probability and a damaging wind event up that way. Temperatures today, high of 98 degrees. Hard to get to the century mark on a day like today with the higher humidity in play with the atmosphere, but that heat index is going to be brutal for another afternoon, and then I think even extending into Tuesday before temperatures slide back to 80 with thunderstorms on Wednesday and then 70s by the end of this week.
All right, thank you, Jessica. And today, some road closures starting in Lincoln.